Ну что, немножко поиграем. Часик. Часик где-то поиграю. Так. Ой, как светло, я уже и забыл. Я вот подумал. Кстати. Вот что мне не нравится и то, что я хочу себе убрать. Так. Так, ссылку забыл. В общем, я хотел убрать себе размытие. К сожалению. А тут, к сожалению, размытие... Ну ладно. Так, сейчас я немножко звук поубавлю. Ну. Так, задание. Так, сначала передам сообщение Риду, чтобы типа без выебонов, мы хорошие ребята, чтобы все знали. В крысу делать ничего не будем. Или ярко сделать поменьше мне. Так, это я их? Я не... Напугала. Так, наверное, это я их успел. Хотя... И я тебя люблю, Мия. Мой главный спутник. Надо, кстати, револьвер попробовать, как он вообще в бою.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
Шагай, давай поговорим, женщина. Зачем нам ссориться сразу, а? А, это шериф этого городка, наверное, будет, ну.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along. Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those. Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you. A what? Look, plants ain't my purview. You're better off asking after Adelaide. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Так, ну все. В общем, это местный шериф, я так понял.
You don't know what enough with the questions means?
Ну все.
No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her. It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere. Could do without the gallows humor. Over in the hothouse, tending crop. I'll tell you what I can. Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about. Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skills far as I could tell. Marauder gang just moved into the districts a little ways east. Their numbers are growing. Gotta come from somewhere. Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does. She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. What is it?
Так, ясно, понятно. Место аварийное. Так, сюда идти надо будет. Искать. Так. Отлично.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice.
Какая ты добрая.
Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon. but it's been cleaned. No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice. The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer.
Я тебе верю.
A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots. It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject. Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then? Make amends. Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that
Кстати,
odious
да.
cannery.
Я хочу это сделать.
Seems the sort of thing a hero would do. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Так. А если эту выберу, то... А, все, я помогаю. Так, и давайте этот мини-квест займемся им.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with? You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions. Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
Так, зацепочка.
Something I can help you with? Fresh off the limb, and that includes...
Мне скидочку делают. Ой, как дорого. Ой, не. Тише, Мия. Так, она украла этот самый таблетки эти. Сходи в туалет лучше попиской. Так, в общем, она, я так понял, в лагере бандитов. Идем спасать ее. Как думаете, справится она?
That's the last of them.
Нормально, 750 очков дали. Тут не за каждого дают, а в общем, за группу. Я так понял, некоторые тупо исчезают, я сам видел. Так, посмотрим. Надо будет по пути в заброшенный ванпост ходить, мне кажется. Так, пистолет, а где пулемет?
Everyone all right?
Блин, что-то дамага не чувствую.
I don't know anybody who ever came out this far.
Это что? Я понял, против кого мы еще будем махаться. Твою мать. Автоматоны.
Easy.
Ну-ка. Модифицированная тяжелая броня 16-17. Так, тяжелая навыки независимости минус 5. Ну-ка, по цвету. Блять, четко. Блин, вот это офигенная броня прям вообще. Слушайте, так охеренно выгляжу мне. Плюс сам бонус к тяжелому оружию. Давайте с этой броней побегаем. Так, а может есть что-нибудь по броне? Что у нее 9 броня? Возьми вот такую. Красотка. Так. Так и знал. Стоит, курит нахалка.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways. Only thing unscrewed around here is the head of that marauder you took down. Never seen moves like that outside my serial dramas. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen. I'm great at clarifying. No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit. I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but yeah, I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma. I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find? But a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse. I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time in Halcyon. Why? Adelaide wants me back on garden duty or something? Thanks, but I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong. And no serial dramas. I've been thinking about going back. I just gotta know if Lord Cavendish really is the masked marketeer.
Well,
I'll take my stuff and head on back, I suppose. Grace is gonna be glaring knives at me, so I've got that to look forward to.
ну. Так, надо глянуть, может какие-то нычки есть. Да ладно. Так, дойдем до ванпоста, заценим, что там у нас. Так, стоп, я же здесь был. Ну да, я здесь был. Ну так себе, что-то вообще ничего нет.
What is it? We didn't always get along, but I'm glad to know she's safe. What happened, anyway? You pretty much did my job for me. Least I could do is
Конечно,
pay you for
заплати.
your trouble. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Новый experience. Здесь так сделаем, а здесь... Ну так сделаем. Больше жизней будут толще. Так, давайте сюда. И пойдем отключать электроэнергию. Хочу дробовик в действии попробовать. Просто на мини он не понравился мне, что...
I've always wanted to poke around in here.
Сука, вот и автоматоны. Excuse me.
I'm ready for this.
Не думал я, что палкой будет легче. Прям неожиданно. Буду все автоматом забирать, потому что я верю, что мне это пригодится. Поздно или не поздно взламывать? Давайте взломаем. Я так понял, взломать и ботов на себя переделать, да? Все. Защита отключена, но... Столько запчастей, как будто я себе могу робота собрать, да? Так, давайте поторгуем. Так, что мне не надо? Нихера себе. Что там такое прям... Стопы. Нихера себе. Ничего себе. Так, мини-квест будет, я так понял сейчас. Да? Давайте посмотрим.
The control room should be off to the right. I hope we can make the right thing.
Rose performing.
Incoming!
Unexpected noise.
Can't get past all of us! We did it! Woohoo!
Сквеш обосрался. Сука.
Here we go! 3 switches. That'll be easy enough.
Перезломы. В смысле? В смысле?
System. Oh, searching.
No! We're not getting through!
Чистая проверка оружия.
Everyone all right? Nice one!
Толстый какие, а?
Got 'em all!
Странно, как-то одного быстро забрали, такого же второго. Что долго забирали.
2 more. What'll happen to Miss McDevitt's book if we send power to the Vale?
No, just leave me alone.
Это кто это там такой?
you're liable to get scalded.
Так, что вообще не понимаю.
Adjacent automatic.
Ну такое себе. Так. Да идите в задницу, нет, конечно. Есть.
If we send the power to Miss McDevitt, what happens to the veil?
А смысл был отключать газ этот, я ума не предположу. Так. А как чинить? А, нечего брать тут. Ничего.
Go away, Phantom! No, 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 just leave me alone!
Так. Здесь, да, этот психопат?
No, 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 just leave me alone! You're not real! You're not real! Get away from me, Phantom! Shoot! Scram! You can talk? The Phantom's never talked before. I knew I shouldn't have eaten that sprat raw. See? See, Higgins? This is why you must always boil your sprats before ingesting. Of course. Do excuse me. I experience brief flashes of mania during which I am visited by the phantoms of my imagination. Chester D. Higgins. The D stands for definitely not insane. I use it as a reminder. Oh, Higgins has been many things over the years. Sprat Wrangler, Saltuna Critic, Aetherwave Personality, Chairman of the Board, Galactic Defender, Sisty Pig Tycoon. I've come a long way for someone who started off as a simple engineer right here in this plant. I specialized in automechanicals, drones, sentries, repaired them, maintained, upgraded, did it all from my old workroom just over in the next section. Look, I don't want to fall into any trouble with the mechanicals. If they wise up to our plans, they will come for us. With prodding irons. You know, you remind me of myself back when I was an intergalactic adventurer. I discovered a flaw. Their hostility levels were hardwired to maximum. There's no changing that, but you could rewrite their targeting protocol so they attack each other instead. Yes, that's exactly it. I see you're also versed in the noble art of mechanical engineering. There's a behavior control terminal in the other room. It should have options to change how the mechanicals act, including whom they shoot at. Oh, that reminds me. You'll need my passcode to access the behavior control terminal. Here, let me just write it down for you. The tail. Mechanicals lost their bolts. Opened fire on... I was on cleaning duty at the time.
Мне кажется, я поздно спохватился, да, с этим? Ладно. Что я не вижу профита от этого, что они... Надеюсь, я не зря столько этих инструментов беру, запчастей.
not sure what the right is. All I know is the decision's final. Once we do this, there's no going back. Hey, mister? Look, I know you want your power regulator and all, but I just gotta ask you. Do you understand what you're about to do? I don't think you should cut off Edgewater's power. I think it would be cruel. I'm sorry. That just sort of came out all at once. Edgewater's hurting. We've been losing workers year after year, and corporate hardly ever sends replacements. There's barely enough Saltuna to fill our bellies anymore. But the town's got some good people in it. Decent, hard-working folk just living their lives the only way they know how. They don't deserve to be punished. Well, that sure sounds like Mr. Thompson. If he was standing here, I imagine he'd remind us of how we're all one big, happy Spacer's Choice family. In Mr. Thompson's eyes, those deserters are still part of the Spacer's Choice family. The family must work together in order to survive. I hate to say it, but I think Mr. Thompson's got a point. Unless those deserters come back, Edgewater's as good as dead. Cutting off their power might be the only way. Miss McDevitt's built something beautiful. Somehow, she's talked the ground into giving life again. It's plain to see she's made the Vale a better place. Fed the hungry, tended the sick. Gave a home to those that had none. But Miss McDevitt delights in Edgewater's suffering. She wants to hurt the town. Do you really want to be party to that kind of hatred? Sorry, I didn't mean to babble on like that. I felt like I had to say something.
Сука, я даже не знаю теперь, что делать мне. Ой, вот, блин, не надо было слушать. Что я натворил? Не слушал бы, и нормально было. Так. Я не знаю, что делать. С одной стороны, типа заводы, технологии, промышленность. С другой стороны, плодородная земля и бла-бла-бла, вот это все цветочки. Блин, и то как бы право, я даже не знаю, что взять. Ах, ботаника. А дверь открыть слабо мне, ребят. Так, сохраняйся, мне кажется, сейчас будет магач. А, рядом враги. Сейчас прям на перестрелочку поводу, мне кажется.
You're not a big drinker, are you?
Are we getting paid or not?
Any loss of productivity will be deducted from your pay.
Is Reed hiding in there?
Mr. Thompson is aware of your concerns and remains committed to guiding.
Жиги, зажигалка, да? Я хз, куда мне идти. Так, окей, а если я...
You want to know what gets my bile churning? Edgewater has suffered a cavalcade of disasters. Plague, marauders, desertion. Then you wandered in town. And I was so damn sure our luck was starting to turn. I never knew how right I was. Just answer one question for me. Why'd you do it?
А чё так мало выбора? Хватит.
Is that right? I'm dying to hear this. Please, educate me. Liberating? Edgewater is my home. The only home I've ever had. I put down roots here, gave decades of my life to this place. I never asked to be liberated. Whatever you were hoping to find down here, I advise you to turn around and leave. I have got guards posted with orders to fire on you.
Блин, запугивали, сука, нет!
Edgewater's dead. Our cannery's dead. Adelaide's deserters are never coming back. Spacer's Choice will shut us down before long. Some of us will die of illness by then. Some will move on. Some will starve. And as for me, I will tender my resignation. Whereupon I shall be processed and then duly imprisoned for gross incompetence. Apologies won't give us our lives back, but for what it's worth, I am sorry too.
Так, ну сейчас будет перестрелка, я так понял. Ну сейчас будет махач, я так понял. Куда это он побежал? За подкреплением. Так, ну все, я теперь враг. Так что сейчас буду из города выбираться как можно кровавей. Ту-ду-ду-ду. А я ж его не убивал. А в смысле? Тихо, может не увидят. Я прокрадусь как...
Is this your ship? Oh my stars, she is just so handsome. Does she have a name yet? What's her drive model? Oh, gosh. Listen to me babbling. When I was in Edgewater, I dreamed of flying on a real ship, working on a real engine, belonging to a proper crew. Edgewater won't last another season without power, but that don't change the fact that I'm indentured to Spacer's Choice. Company expects me back at my post. I have imagined it, but until you came along, I never thought I had the choice. I want to ask you something, and you can say no. But can I come with you? I could tend to your engine. I know my G-valves for my catalyzers, and I can keep your ship singing. And if you ever need a pair of eyes watching your back, I can do that too. What do you
Ну,
think?
конечно, я буду всех собирать, чисто.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I never got along with Mr. Thompson, but I don't think he deserved to die. He tried to do his best. I don't know about that. Mr. Thompson wasn't an evil man. He wasn't given to violence. Though if Miss McDevitt were here, I wager she'd agree with you. I had my misgivings about Miss McDevitt and the deserters, but you took pity on them and sent power to their garden even though you knew Mr. Thompson would hate you for it. All this time, you've been determined to get your regulator back, get your ship up and running, and cut a path out of this place. And well, I won in. Yes! I mean, thanks. You won't regret this, mister. Captain. I can call you Captain now. Ha! I got a captain.
I'm a captain.
Well, I certainly am looking forward to flying on a ship named the Unreliable. I'll just head upstairs and claim a room.
Captain, I have detected that the town... What can I do for you, Captain? Do you know how to install a power regulator? Outstanding, Captain. Your aptitude for engineering will prove invaluable in the event of another catastrophic engine failure. Our engine room is located behind you, across the cargo bay, up the ladders. What can I do for you, Captain? All systems are operating within acceptable parameters. I am prepared to bring the Unreliable into low-altitude orbit. This should prove an adequate test of our flight capabilities.
Можно меня поздравить. Первую планету я прошел.
We have received a communication request from Dr. Phineas Wells.
Aha, there you are. Hale and hearty, and captain of your own ship. I see you're putting the Unreliable to good use. Shame about her former captain. Horrible way to die. How are you feeling, by the way? I lost track of you in that cave back there. Experiencing any, unnatural drippage? Perfectly normal side effect of thought. What you saw in Emerald Vale is happening all across the colony. Food shortages, lack of supplies, and basic necessities. The Hope has some of the brightest minds Earth ever sent us. If we can revive the Hope's colonists, they can help us undo the board's mistakes. You need to get to Stellar Bay on Monarch. I have contacts there. They'll help me, help us, find the... Gladys Kelly, lovely woman, runs a cozy little black marketing outfit on the ground. And remember, don't trust the board's only interested in filling their own pockets. If we don't put a stop...
Transmission ended. If you are ready to depart, please select a destination on your navigation terminal.
Да, я хочу уже сохраниться, давайте. Все, сохраняемся. Переписываем. Ага. Все, ребят, а на сегодня, на сейчас пока хватит. Все, всем счастливо. Еще увидимся.